Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Episode 11, the Locker Room Life podcast. Here we are again, breaking everything that's going on in life, in hockey, and another great interview on tap. I'm one of your hosts, Frank. Got my buddy Logan here. What are we doing, buddy?
I'm just going to tell every one of our viewers listening into podcast 11. We just did almost this whole thing, a little bit of it, and we weren't recording. Just letting everyone know that we did mess up, and I was just berating Frank. And that's a great start to this. And just amazing, Frank. Life is busy, but busy is good. We always say that here. I've really been trying to, get some brand initiatives lined up, get some sales lined up, got some awesome meetings upcoming. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Actually, this weekend will be our company skate for Best Damn Tape. Frank is supposed to be there, but he is now TBD because he has big boy prior opportunities and things he needs to go to. But we're going to have a great time. We were looking to potentially get the first in-person podcast to you guys. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can make that happen. You'll know in the next few episodes or not if we do. Yeah, life is good.
I'm pulling strings. I'll make it happen so that we can sit in person with my boy Logan Kuva. We have a lot of amazing players that are coming to the skate, so it'll be really awesome to have them in person. And just, I think being able to do some in-person interviews, it just adds a completely different vibe to the podcast and everything. Logan is telling the truth. My cat jumped into the mix. Cords were falling all over the place. Nobody hit record. It was a little fuzzy going into this episode, but we're here. We're making it happen. This weekend, though, let me tell you, bud, what a weekend I had. Headed down to California, playing in a tournament with our boy, Jay Diebel. Zambonis played
We miss you, Jay.
We miss you, buddy. We played in a tournament, 4-on-4, roller hockey rules. No icing, no blue line, no rules, really. You could literally sit next to the goalie and just camp out if you wanted to. But it was fun. Ironman hockey, 5 games in 2 days. I was smoked. My left toe is going to fall off, but it's a topic for another time, not right now because we're running late. But anyways, all I'm going to say is on Friday evening, we had a really nice impromptu kind of surprise for me for my birthday. My wife and my friends planned it. It was awesome. I was really taken aback by just everything at the moment. Really super happy that people took the time to celebrate my birthday. It was awesome. And on top of that, the team that I play for, the Zambonis, we celebrated 25 years that the team has been together at Zams Fest.
That's older than me.
That's older than you, Logan, which is crazy. But these guys are my family. They're my brothers. They've been part of my life for so long, and it was so fun. And I'm glad it lined up that way, where we had that event at the same time as the tournament. So being able to do both of them was awesome. And then now back to business, man. Back to getting into everything that we're doing, gearing up for the skate, Best Damn Tape, Buddy Hockey Club. There's a lot of different things happening that we're trying to take advantage of as well. And yeah, man, what else you got going on?
No, we got some awesome guys coming to that skate. Like you said, a lot of pro guys, a lot of podcast guests that you guys have seen, some that you're going to see. I'm really excited for it. It's kind of an annual thing now that I do with the company. So, any players out there interested, hit me up in Best Damn Tape, hit us up on Locker Room Life. But, I think that's a perfect segue into the Best Damn Breakdown. We're ready to, the season's gearing up. We've been talking to awesome podcast guests. They're all gearing up for the season. As we can see, all of these rookies coming in to Dev Camp. Dev Camp is season just ended. It was definitely a crazy 2.5, 3 weeks for all of these guys across the league, and some awesome talent. I followed the Ducks Dev Camp very closely, just with them being with the company, and our tape is the only tape used at the Dev Camp. So it's really cool to watch that, especially for me, because at the highest level, for perspective for everyone, they're pros. They can choose whatever they want. They usually, if some guys like it, then they have it in the locker room along with other stuff as well. But the Dev Camp, exclusively us, super awesome to be able to do that. It's amazing every time I get to look at that and see potential NHL stars that are going to be using the tape from there on out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's a quick turnaround for these guys that, we just went through the draft. So for them to literally that night jump right in with those organizations, get in the building, get in the facility, right? Get with the personnel, get with the trainers. So that just shows you it's a job, and these guys are really jumping into that next step for them and being able to take that next step. So all the guys that were drafted, we know the heavy hitters, Schaefer, Braden Martin, like those guys are beauties, and just being able to start this next phase of their career, we're super excited. On top of that, free agent frenzy kind of simmered down from the initial movements that have happened, but we know Mitch Marner, our boy, gone in, signed a new contract, now playing for the Vegas Golden Knights. All I'm going to say on it is great for a change of scenery, man. The guys played in a city where it was literally like playing in a melting pot. So I think a guy that is super talented, maybe didn't work out on the playoff side of things in Toronto, being able to have a new set career in Vegas. And, Vegas, what an organization. It's going to continuously have a successful program every year. So they're a cup contender every year. And I think it's a good spot for him, Logan. What do you think?
No, I got a couple points on, the whole free agency thing, but Mitch, you said all the right things. He's just been so consumed, overwhelmed by that Toronto, that Ontario hockey. He's been in it since juniors. I mean, he played for London. He was basically he's one of their biggest stars ever. And then to basically go in their back door in Toronto, everyone knows who you are. So he definitely had a lot of limelight on him, and some people would say that he didn't pan out as well as people thought he was going to, but that's a fucking amazing player who's done amazing things, and really excited to see what he does at Vegas. Vegas is going to be, as always, a force to be reckoned with. But a little bit of a hot take on my end. I didn't think free agency was that crazy this year. I really didn't think that there was a lot of crazy moves that were not compared to last year. Last year there were some nuts ones, but next year, I know we were talking about that. We've talked about it. Next year is going to be unbelievable. Everyone knows the name. He's on the board. McJesus. Obviously, there's a bunch of other really big names, but that's obviously going to be the main talking point next year of where he's going to take his talents. But I think he's going to stay with the Oilers.
I mean, I think so too. We're going to talk about it in nausea in the sense that everybody's going to be, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I agree with you. I think he's going to stay. I think it's going to be a shorter term deal. I think until they start to figure out where he wants to go, what personnel he wants around him to really support their growth. I think that's a big piece. So I think organizationally, Stan Bowman, he's been around the block. He built a dynasty in Chicago, so being able to know what he really wants. But I think a lot of the feedback is his opinion, and him have a lot of autonomy to make a lot of different moves for the team so they can win and stay contenders. So yes, I think he's going to stay. But again, Logan, buddy, next year's class. Let me just rattle off a couple names for you. If, and I'm saying if, they make it to July 1st, Kirill Kaprizov, Jack Eichel, Kyle Connor, come on. Artemi Panarin, come on.
So there's some.
So,
It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be madness. And do you agree with me on the fact that it was not that crazy this year?
yeah, but the thing was is as soon as the season ended, everybody was narrowing in on this is Marner's last game, which everyone was true, and that's usually just hockey buzz in the media, but they were actually true this time. There's always the big dominoes, such as Marner, and then there's always the side dominoes. Well, plan B is Nikolai Ehlers. So I think that, yes, the big shakes were not as big. They were kind of predetermined already on what was going to happen. The bigger players had kind of pole position to get the Marners and other big guys that signed with other teams. But yeah, it was kind of tame. It's always nice to see a lot of guys like Brett Burns still getting contracts and getting a chance to win at this stage of his career, like going to Colorado. I think that's a great move. So it's cool to see the Grizzly vets getting those 1-year deals to kind of continue playing. So I love seeing that too. And next segment, Bud, are you serious? Sponsored by Buddy Hockey Club. In this segment, we like to kind of discuss things that are just above our heads. Bud, are you serious? This is happening? So first topic, Gavin McKenna, the prized possession of the WHL. Canadian hockey takes another hit, losing probably one of their top stars, biggest star, prospective first overall pick in next year's draft.
That's unbelievably crazy. Like I had told, I don't know which podcast it was, but you and me, we had talked about it where he was going to land, and you said Penn State, I said Michigan State. To even think about that, there's so many different layers I could think about. To like turn away from MSU, the only reason that I could really think is NIL money, because I mean he will be that guy there too. He's going to be the number one. At Michigan State, he would have still been there now that Howard's gone too, but it's a very interesting move by him because like we've talked about multiple times, like Penn State's new, like they're very new compared to the rest of Division 1, and they're building an awesome program, especially around him. That's going to be even crazier. You have a Hobie Baker finalist who he's probably going to play on a line with, and it's just they're priming him for the next level, and Penn State has started to do that a lot recently. It's been very cool to see. I think the development of Penn State as a whole. I'm from Pennsylvania. When I was young, they had just put in Pagula, the newest their rink, the newest rink, which is really nice. And that was like their first like up and up. And now I have a lot of buddies who go there now and are great hockey players. So I'm very excited to see what Penn State does as a whole too.
Hot take. What do you think? What do you think he does? How long do you think he stays?
One and
What are we
done.
looking at?
One and done. One and done. 1 year Penn State. Year after that, get drafted one, go to the league.
Well, I
For
mean,
sure.
1 year payment for 700K. 700K is what he ended up getting to go to Penn State. Not a bad deal, Logan. I'll take
No,
some of that.
no,
Give me some of that.
pocket that a little bit. Plus another 100,000 in the full ride scholarship he got from Penn State. It's cool. And I know in this podcast coming up, like we talk about NIL, we talk about all that. It's really changing the landscape because that's where I told, like I said, I think that's what pushed him to go there because they have those funds. I've heard some, I said that too. We've heard crazy numbers being thrown out by Penn State, even from some people that I know. Good on them. I mean, respect. They're jumping on the train in the sport of hockey before everyone else.
Tough week, couple weeks for the Michigan State Spartans. I mean, miss out on the sweepstakes for Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Hobie Baker winner Isaac Howard says, see ya, and signs with the Edmonton Oilers. He's going to start his professional career. So, again, that was kind of the thing that was circling around Isaac Howard. He couldn't get a deal with Tampa Bay done. Primarily, the reason why was because he wanted, I guess, assurances that he was going to be in the top 6 in that lineup. And you can throw in some orders, I guess you can, with some teams, but Tampa Bay Lightning, you look at the top 6, you're looking at the top 6 in the league. I mean, they have this guy, Kucherov. I mean, you may have heard of him, but I think the best thing happened for him, though. I definitely think that we can talk about the draft system too. I mean, I know they're making some adjustments to that where these players they're being drafted, they're being held on to for 3 years, and then they're being able to enter the draft again. So I think that they're trying to tighten up, just a lot of things on that level because at
It's
the
going to be
same
a lot.
point, yeah, yeah, you want to being drafted is an honor and a privilege. It kind of sucks, man. It's probably the biggest milestone in your life, and it kind of ends up being nothing because of 3 years. If especially if you choose to play college, go play juniors, and then now with the new ruling, you could play both. You can't reach an agreement with your NHL team. Well, that moment is gone now, and now you just become a free agent that
Yep.
you can just sign with somebody else. So, again, topic for another day, but yeah, definitely worth the conversation to talk about this NIL. It's crazy just to see the huge boulders that are being built in the NIL world right now, but we've talked about it and we continuously keep talking about it. The amount of boosters, you know, alumni that are putting money into these schools so that they can become contenders and win titles. Because this is my thought on it, Logan. I want to get your thoughts on this as well. By alumni and boosters putting more money into these schools and them winning titles and being contenders, it then brings more money in for the school, which it's basically just another winning investment for them on top of that, gives a lot of notoriety to the players and just being able to be successful on that level. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I think it's like the chicken and the egg a little bit because there are certain points where it's like, yeah, it's awesome to be able to do that. But then at a certain point, if you are someone like Ohio State, for example, not necessarily in hockey, but more in football, they basically bought their roster. And I think there's a very fine line between that. Um, so I'm intrigued on what the landscape is going to be like, and if it's going to turn into a stacked super squad of just absolute the best people you can imagine on one team because they have the most NIL money. So I think that there's a little bit of a I think there's going to be a learning curve with the executives, with everything, because I feel like at a certain point, yeah, like obviously your school, you want your school to be the best, but if you just are basically recruiting with strictly giving these kids money, it's going to kind of run around to the fact of getting away from, I think, what hockey is at its core and its totality of the relationships and everything that you kind of foster along the way. And I just don't want it to be clouded by the money. You know what I mean?
For sure. And my last note on NIL is going to be this. I definitely think there's going to be some strict regulations that are going to change this as well. It's another thing for the NCAA and the organizations to digest. There's a lot of loopholes right now. Like, case in point is this one and done. I mean, Gavin McKenna takes $700K, and that's not even including other smaller endorsement deals that he's probably going to take while he's at Penn
And
State.
he
And
knows
then
he's
just,
gonna go one, and that's the thing
yeah,
too. Like he knows he's gonna go one. Like it was big at that point. Like you can say whatever you want about the school, but it's basically a bit an auction. It's an auction of who's gonna offer up the most money.
exactly. So the one and done rule has always been a fight for the NCAA to keep players. This is just another reason where you thought, oh, wow, okay, now more guys are going to stay in college. Not so fast. I think that there's another loophole that a lot of players are taking advantage of right now in the NIL system. I
For
think there's
sure.
going to be some regulations on that level as well. So,
But
yeah,
yeah, and it's a great parlay into kind of the business side, the business aspect of everything, as I was talking about. Just unbelievable guest that we just had on. Um, Katie Merrick from the Fargo Force just won. Frank, correct me if I'm wrong. Front office person of the year.
executive of the year.
Even better, executive of the year at the USHL. As Frank would like to say, the greatest junior league in the world. So it's just an absolute honor, and she's a young, inspiring woman in a, as we all know, in a flooded space with males, and it's super cool to be able to see what she does, and being able to talk to her as just a normal human being. She is just unbelievable, super impressive, and an amazing podcast again.
Yeah, Katie's awesome. Glad she took the time in the summer. You had a little bit of a downtime to enjoy the successes that they had this year at Fargo. But I mean, you guys will hear it. Her hard work and determination to be with the Fargo Force and started on the intern level and now being the VP of business operations, it's amazing. And she's amazing. She's so humble, and she definitely can share a lot of knowledge to a lot of our listeners in regards to the journey, and just having fun with it. She's so amazing because she's so easy to talk to and so fun. It's like we were just joking around, and that's what it's about, guys. Like Logan and I talk about it all the time. It's about our community, and we talk about that in the interview. She didn't come from hockey. She came into hockey via the Fargo Force, and she's hooked. She's hooked on the feeling of being in hockey, the people, and being part of this amazing community that we're all part of. So we're super blessed. We've had amazing guests on this show thus far, and this is no different, and we can't wait for you guys to hear it. On that note, Katie Merrick, Fargo Force. Hope you guys enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Locker Room Life podcast. Today, we're honored to be joined by Katie Merrick, the VP of Business Operations for the Fargo Force. in the best junior league in the world, the USHL. Before we get started, I want to congratulate her for being awarded the Executive of the Year. So fresh off of that and taking time in the summer. So we really appreciate your time, Katie. And we really have a lot of questions about a lot of things. So we're
Oh
excited to
boy,
get going.
I better dial it in.
First and foremost, like we do with everybody, we'll get to your current state of affairs and all that good stuff, but kind of take us through the story, like how it all started. There's so much through your journey, and it's an amazing journey at that.
Yeah, so I started with the Force. This will be my 5th season. It's my 4th season full time. I came in as an intern, a social media intern. Well, I guess I could back it up a little more. I went to a 2-year junior college to start. I played sports there. And then I transferred to a 4-year up in Moorhead, which is right across the river from Fargo. And then my senior year, I applied for an internship here. I worked here a full season doing social media and graphics, and then got hired on full time. It was right after COVID, so there was a lot of vacancies within our front office. So I got a full time job the year I was still interning here, which worked out. I always tell people COVID worked out for me really well, which sorry to anyone that it didn't, but I like it timed out for me very well here with Fargo. So I was the merchandise and communications manager for 6 months, and then I got promoted to vice president of business operations, which I've been for the last 4 seasons now. So yeah, it's been a fast journey for me, but it's been a good one.
That's unbelievable. I have so many questions already, but were you involved in hockey growing up? Are you you're from the area, I believe?
I'm from a small town in Minnesota, so we didn't have any hockey at our high school, but obviously everyone in Minnesota knows hockey. I actually had never been to a hockey game until I started working for the Force, so
Wow.
had nothing to do with hockey until I started here. But now I truly cannot imagine working in another sport. Like, you guys obviously are super involved in hockey, and like the community around hockey, the players, the people, the fans, like there's just nothing like it. So I can't imagine being in any other sport than hockey now that I'm here. But if you had told me 5 years ago that this is what I was doing, I would not have believed you. So it's good to be here, but a bit of a journey.
No, that's amazing. And you know what? That's actually really interesting, because I feel like, especially now, the game, the way it's structured, a fresh perspective, and you're seeing a lot of different realms developing, just in the game, right? Technology, I think, has changed a lot of that, but also just even in the little minute details like analytics, game analysis and different things like that. So it's nice to see the community growing via a lot of different people from different backgrounds kind of coming into hockey. It's the embodiment of the community. That's why we love it. That's why we love to do it. It just grabs you, and it just, it just holds on to you. And it's not, the game is only, that's the funny thing about hockey players, right? Like, it's only, the game grabs onto you for only a little bit of your time, but it's really the lasting impression that it makes on you in regards to the community, the connections, and people around you, that they just build relationships for your life. So that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. The path, once you got into with the Force, what were your kind of like duties, and then kind of how did they start to escalate into, currently what you're doing now?
Yeah, so when I started as an intern, I was running all of our social media, and then like graphic design, TikTok, that type of thing. And then I transitioned into more of the community aspect, like working with community partners on their nonprofit events. And then I also managed our team store. And from there, I went to vice president of business ops, which basically is just overseeing any operation that's under the Fargo Force branch of our company. So we're 3 companies basically out of this one building. Shields Arena is an entity, the Fargo Force is one, and then we also run a nonprofit. So I am the person that oversees the Fargo Force, and then we have one person that oversees all 3 branches. So it's fun for me because I get to be involved in everything. Like, if Food and Bev wants to do something cool, they're like, Katie, what do you think about this? Or if we want to do a jersey design, like, I get to work with Duffy, who about what do we want to do for this jersey design. So I get to have a hand in everything, which really isn't common in a lot of jobs and a lot of different levels of this sport. Like, there's not many places where you can be involved in just about every aspect of the business. And I love it.
No, man, I have so many questions. I'm gonna say that so much this podcast, but like I think it's so interesting just because when I was a young kid, like obviously like every hockey player, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You just want to
Right.
play, you just want to go out there. But there really is so much that goes on behind the scenes, all the way from NHL all the way down to juniors. It's unbelievable the amount of time that you guys are setting up games, setting up home openers, setting up jerseys, like you said. And it's just very interesting. And so, like, take us through what a day to day with Katie Merrick looks like. When you wake up, you go to Shields Arena, Great Shields Arena, and what's it look like?
Yeah, so it really just depends on this season. So right now, a couple weeks ago, the USHL released the schedule. So right now, I'm working with our sales staff and our different partners on figuring out the promo schedule and who wants dates where, which nonprofits are going to do jersey nights, how we're going to set all that up. So my July schedule maybe looks quite a bit different than my January schedule. And then a game week looks a lot different than it would look like if we didn't have a game that week. So kind of day to day, which is probably my favorite part about the job, is
Awesome.
I come in and I have no idea what I'm doing every day. Like one day, maybe we need to like pop some popcorn, and then maybe there's something else. So you get to be part of everything, which is cool. But I always have a hard time answering the question, like, what's my day to day like? Because I don't know what my day to day is going to be. So it's hard to tell anyone else what it might be.
I feel like that's the best way. I feel like that's the job that I love. I mean, being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, like I love that. I love all the stuff. I love all the curveballs, even if they may be bad sometimes.
Yeah.
I still like getting through them. And it's so cool just to see how it's just a parallel through hockey, even in the back end that everyone doesn't see.
You individually as well, just being able to get involved in all the different realms, I think that better suits you for, again, this is a great stepping stone for everything that you're going to be doing in your career as well. So I think that that's amazing to just be even to have that exposure and not just be focused in on one thing where it just, like you said, keeps it fresh. You're like, no idea, but let's tackle it. And it's funny because simultaneously you're just being able to learn everything and everything just because it's part of your day to day and just kind of toggling between, everything that you do every day. So that's awesome.
100%. And I would say, too, for me, it makes maybe like the stepping stone aspect a little bit trickier to figure out because in the role I'm in now, I still do a lot of our graphic design and I love it. And I like being the manager of different companies, but you can't go to an NHL team and be like, I'd like to be your vice president. And then I'd also like to do your graphic design. Like it's so many different like realms that you're going through. So when I'm looking at what my future might look like, it's maybe not as black and white as if it would be if I was a head coach trying to move on to the next level. It's a lot different when you're in the role that I'm in right now.
Question. So along this path, we talk about it all the time, especially in journeys, in business and also, as part of the game as players, mentors. What were there any mentors along the way that kind of stuck with you through this journey and kind of helped? Because I know we've all had, people that have played large roles in our lives and kind of want to see if the same for you.
Yeah, so I'll go back to my college journey a little bit. I did 2 years at a junior college and then transferred on to MSUM, which is here in Moorhead. And when I was transferring, I didn't know that I had an academic advisor. So I was just like filling it out myself. So I was online, like looking at classes, just reading descriptions and like plugging them in. And there was one class that I found, and it was sports communications. And then part of that was you had to work with the Go team at MSUM, which is like the social media team and the game production team. So I signed up for that class, and that professor, John Webking, would bring in different people from throughout different leagues. So like there was an NBA guy that came in and talked to us from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and someone from the Minnesota Vikings came in and talked to us. And when those people came and talked to the class, I was like, okay, this is a job that like is real and that people can do. Like I'm not just typing in classes on my computer and like hoping something works out. Like this is an actual path that I can take and make work. And from there, and listening to those people talk, I did an internship with the Red Hawks, which is a American Association team in Fargo, a baseball team. And then I went on to the Force, and I've been here since. So I think it's just for me, the people coming into the class and seeing that it's a real thing versus like logging in and taking a class and trying to figure out what to do next.
No, you hit the nail on the head. I think especially with with today. I mean, myself, I'm still in college. I go to West Virginia University, and it's just like there's a lot of kids who just really you don't see them applying those things that they're learning or supposed to be learning while they're paying $40,000 to go to school. But don't get me
Right.
started. I will. It's just very, very interesting because it's in the business aspect of things. I guess that's just kind of how it's such a way that athletes and people look at it. It's like, oh, you can actually make
Right.
money and make a living while working in the sport that you love or you're growing to love. And it's just really, really cool. And so where did you where do you think that you found where do you think that you found the passion for that? I know that you saw the people coming in and talking to you about those things, but were you passionate about the sports side of it from the beginning?
Yeah, I've always been involved in sports, and I think I can't remember who said it, but at some point along my college path, someone was like, "Just do what you're good at," because there's a portion where you're in high school and you're like, "Okay, like I have to be a doctor. That's the next step." And I'm like, "I don't like math. I don't like science. I would rather not do that." Like, but then when you're in high school, like the world seems so small. Like, there's just not that many careers that get laid out for you. So you get to college and it's like, what am I going to do? And when somebody said, like, do what you're good at, well, I'm good with people. Like, I want to be involved in something. And sports really is that. Like, you're just providing an opportunity for people. I work with people every single day, and that's what I love. And we say this to our staff all the time. It's something that we've tried to focus on here is every single time people are coming into this building for a game, it might be their first time ever seeing a hockey game. It's like a life-changing experience for some people, and we have the privilege of putting that on. So that's what I really love about this
That's
is the
awesome.
opportunity to provide that for people, which is cool and so unique to sports. I don't think it exists in a lot of different fields.
No, that's amazing. I mean, and you're truly right, especially with the game of hockey as a whole. Even the NHL, it's only was a couple years ago, and Gary Bettman has done such a good job of commercializing the game a little bit more. Obviously, we see the remnants of that with the rise of the salary cap and the state of hockey being in a great place. Social media is really helped that as well, because from an exposure standpoint, being able to have the game on more of a global level, it's such in a great place. And you're 100% right, where a lot of people are just finding hockey right now, especially a lot of parents that are taking their kids to USHL games in those small towns. I
Yep.
played in Des
That's-
Moines, Iowa, and it was a very small town. I knew nothing about it, but I'll tell you what, on a Friday and Saturday night when we had games, the place was packed.
Yeah.
And it was generations of people. It was my first exposure to like a kid coming up to me and asking me for my autograph. I'm like, you don't, this is not going to be worth anything.
It's unreal.
I'll do it for you anyway. But
It's
it
Frank, you're
but
so
it's,
right. You're so
yeah,
right. The small
and
towns especially, that's where I thought was like,
yeah,
I know you said like the small towns.
your work also helps the players because those experiences, it's the first time that you ever fully believe that this can be a career for me. Playing hockey can actually
Right.
be a career. Once you start to see like NHL personnel around, you're like, oh man, this is a real thing. Like, and I can only imagine now the USHL, it's the best league in the world. You're
Right.
seeing personnel from every team, from every organization. You're seeing agents, you're seeing players. Like it's a scene. Your work that you're doing on that level is not only for the fans, but it's all for the players and those experiences you're creating, which is awesome. Parlaying into that, this award for the organization, I know it's a huge thing. What does that mean for you, and what does it mean for the team? And also, before you chime in, what I love about this award is it's actually a full encompassing award of the full organization on all levels. So to win that is a very big honor, and love to hear your perspective on just winning it for the organization.
Yeah, I mean, so last year we won Organization of the Year, which is probably my favorite one because, like, that's really honors everyone. But you're right. Like, this is the same thing. The Executive of the Year doesn't happen without all of the staff that we have at this building, and they know it. Like, I talked to each one of them. It kind of sucks that I'm the only one that could win it. Like, I wish everyone could get Executive of the Year, but it really is an honor too because it's voted on by all of the other owners and presidents within the league, and like those are the people that you want to win the award from. Like, they're also doing the same things at their team. They're trying to be successful. So for them to vote for me, it was really cool. I mean, I'm honored to be doing it. My boss nominated me, which is a nice thing to do too. So it's just a cool award. Yeah, it was pretty special.
I no, seriously, like so much kudos to you, and I know that, especially with you being humble and all of that, and obviously it's just so crazy. Just the parallels from being on the ice to you saying that right now. It's like it wouldn't be possible without everyone doing everything to make it all happen. And it's from the people cleaning the rink at the end of the game days to the people who are setting that all up and then playing the actual game. It's so cool. And I'd love to actually, I had this question on my mind. Former podcast guest, Glenn Heffernan, amazing, unbelievable guy. I've known him since I was a young child. What are your thoughts on how he has grown the league thus far? He's done some awesome things, and is just has a great track record of doing so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Glenn's been unbelievable for the league. When you have a commissioner in that position that cares as much as Glenn does about the players, about the fans, about the teams, and not just that, but the development of the players. Like, Glenn wants this to be the best league in the world, and he clearly is putting that effort in. So I think he's been great for the league. He's a good podcast guest. He's very active. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about Glenn. I think the direction the league has gone under his supervision it'd be hard to argue that he's anything but awesome at what he's doing right now. So love him. Hope he's around for a lot of years.
With the league, it's growing so much year over year. Obviously, with the success and just overall landscape of the league changing, but also for the positive. What have you seen, even just your time? What are the biggest changes in the league that you've seen? Because it's grown leaps and bounds literally every year, all the way from corporate partnerships to exposure with the NHL, partnerships with the NHL. What are you seeing on your level?
I think you guys are spot on. Even if we're just going straight to Fargo Moorhead, awareness about what this league has gone up significantly in my time here. I think when I started, people thought that these guys were 35 years old and playing like like people just didn't know what the USHL was. Like, we would play Team USA and they'd be like, "Oh, the Olympic team is coming to Fargo. That's unbelievable." Like, people just didn't know. But now they understand what this is. Like, we are really close to UND up in Grand Forks. So like, when we have players that are committed to UND, the fans are like, "This is unbelievable. We get to
Max
watch these develop." Exactly. Yeah. And Sam Lorilla is going there this year. So like, we have some connections with colleges that are very close to us. So just understanding what the league has gone way up. And to your point, social media, it's getting that out on podcasts and the radio broadcasts, and people are just more educated about what hockey is. But there's really no comparable to the USHL or junior hockey in general in any other sport. So when people aren't exposed to it, it's like, well, I've never seen a high school basketball player go do this. Like, I don't understand. But yeah, I think the league itself has grown a ton on social media and beyond. So just keeps getting better for the players and for the fans that watch it and love it.
This award this year, what is one pinpointed moment where you're like, this is that made this year special for you?
Yeah, I think this year for me, I really kind of took a moment to appreciate what we're doing in the community here in Fargo. Watching like our players go to the veterans lunch and serve lunch to them, or go to Sanford Children's Hospital and meet these kids, and like seeing how much it means to people in the community. And it's an hour out of our players' days, and all of them are unbelievable with these people and what they're doing. And they're really just present there when they're doing it. And it takes nothing for us to just show up and be a part of it, but it changes people's lives. And the money that we've been able to raise just from doing different games and different jerseys, I think we were over 220,000 or something like that this year for just money raised in this community, which is unreal. So like, aside from the hockey aspect, aside from all of that, just being able to be involved in this community has been the most rewarding for me, I think, in this last season. And obviously last year when we won the Clark Cup, that was the best, but this is pretty cool too.
No, I mean, I could only imagine how that feels for you, especially. I mean, growing up from and not being far from there and being able to give back it's kind of a Cinderella story. It's super cool. With the direction of the league and where you think it's going, like, do you, especially with everything with OHL, CHL rulings, like, do you, is that going on conversations in the back end of just in the office? I know it's going on in the coaches' room. I know that's happening, but is that like extending past the locker room?
For sure. I think everyone's aware of it. It's not something that anyone's hiding from. It's obviously out there and it's a change. If people are going to have to adjust to it. I think it's really prevalent now, but everything always evens itself out. And success really speaks for itself. The USHL, you see it at the draft, you see it in the success of these teams in this league. Like, it's not a league that needs to worry about what's going on outside of it. We just need to worry about what's going on inside of it. Like, we had 53 kids drafted into the NHL this year. Like, that's an unbelievable stat. The teams are all really buying in and want to be successful. Like, more teams in this league had sellouts this last year than they had in multiple years previously. So I think the league is growing. It's definitely a conversation that's had in every team, but we're focused on growing our league, and I'm not super worried about what's going on outside of it.
I love that.
The bigger initiatives of, I know you're working on them right now, but for Fargo this year, what's a little sneak peek behind the curtain that you guys are working on that's it's going to be new and exciting for next season?
Yeah, we have some exciting stuff coming up. We are at the Frosty Cup again. That's in Frisco, Texas.
Ooh,
So
that's fun.
that's a fun one. I love that trip. We have some more influencer stuff going on this year. We worked with
Napster.
last year. So we've got some fun stuff in the works this year for that as well. But yeah, a lot of cool promotions. We did a rinks and links night. It was a golf theme night for the first time last year. We're going to bring that back this year and do even more. We had like a golf course up on our concourse, so we'll do even more holes this year. But yeah, some fun promos going on.
That's awesome.
Social media wise, so this runs in your blood from day one. We have this ongoing debate, and we say it on every episode. We have this ongoing debate about social media's involvement, I guess you could say, in hockey, in organizational like awareness, different things of that nature. What is your thought on the positives and, let's say, a little bit of negatives as well for social media, with you being, at the organization?
Yeah, there's definitely both, right? It can go either way, but I think our team is pretty bought in on the positive impact that social media can have. We've seen it in our attendance growth the last couple of years. The more active we are on socials, the more we put into it, the better it becomes. Showcasing your players and showcasing your building and your fans can only do great things. And I really love the development that social media has had, even at the NHL level. Like, more players now are getting to show their personality. Like, they get to didn't they just change a rule where they can wear whatever outfit? Yeah. So like, people
no dress code.
Yeah, I love it. Like, you might as well let people be themselves. And I think more players keep doing that. Like, they have more confidence. They're answering questions honestly. Like, it's the right way to go. And I think social media opens that door because you see positive response from everyone when you do that. So I think that anyone who's not utilizing social media is doing a disservice to their team and a disservice to their players, but I'm all in on it.
No, that is again, you hit the nail on the head. There's another thing we talk about on the podcast all the time is players actually starting to come out of their shell. The state of the game where players are just known to be like, "Yep, puck's deep, chase, hit the body, need to take the body. Let's go. Here we go, boys." And then that's it.
Right.
But now it's really, really changing. That's such a good point that you brought up. Like, obviously it's good for the game, but do you think more and more athletes are going to start to pick up on like a Matthew Tkachuk style? Or I'm trying to think of another big name. He was really, really big this past year with just going on was that Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon? I forget, but just doing a bunch of cool stuff.
No, I think for sure. And I do think a lot of that has to do with NIL and the money that's coming in too. Like, if you're not going to be your own biggest like vocal person, like then you're not going to get that kind of money. So people kind of you have to play both sides. Like you don't want to overdo it too. At the end of the day, like what's happening on the ice is the most important for your career. But I do think it's given people room to be also a human being outside of that versus just like a robot, to your point. But yeah, I think will keep getting bigger with the money that comes in from NIL and these contracts, especially in college.
We talked about it before, where it's, hockey players by nature are very respectful, and I think that's always been like the credo of parents making sure that their kids are respectful, not talking back, so forth, so on. But I think a lot of that's like washed away in the fact that like there's a lot of great personalities in hockey, and that's why it's like, especially with us, the locker room, right? That's where you see the real personalities of guys, and it's nice to see finally now guys are okay, letting their hair down a little bit, being able to show their personality, and that being celebrated, right? Because, basketball players, football players, different things like that, have buzzy quotes and different things. I think it's now time for hockey players to really have their moment to show. There's a lot of great personalities in hockey. And again, I think social media, out of the good and the bad of it, is being able to kind of show that. So I think that's
yeah, and I think too, like like the job of the person doing social media at each team to know that about each player. Like there's guys on the team that don't want to say anything, and they shouldn't have to. Like they don't have to talk, but the guys that want to, like, put them out there, set them up for it. But that has to be the give and take between the social media person and the GM. Like you have to balance it all out. Otherwise it becomes a problem. But I think it's great for people once it's done correctly.
Yeah.
And especially with globalization, I know that the game and the league is so global, and Glenn talked about it when he was on as well. There's a lot of efforts on the USHL side to really have a lot more expression on the global level, on all levels, even from day one, on the draft, and just from a player exposure level. Is that something that you guys are focusing on as an organization as well?
I mean, we definitely have a lot of guys from all over the world, and it's great for our fans. Love it. Like anytime we get a guy in, we had a couple of guys from Slovakia last year, and there's Slovakian flags everywhere. Like people love it. So, I mean, it's cool to have those guys from different countries. It's definitely something that's a learning curve for people. Like you have to be able to welcome that in, but we love it. We're open to it. We'll take in any player that's great, and a lot of them come from different countries.
Yeah. I have kind of two questions here, but this one's a little shorter. Are you seeing NIL being thrown at any of the Fargo guys yet? Like, are they getting down to the junior levels yet?
Well, let me just give a shout out here. This is NIL for a couple of our guys. So this was Leo Gruba. He played for us 2 years ago. Zam Planted too, both on the Clark Cup team, but they're doing Selly collection hats with a company called Tidal Wave. So you can buy them, they get a percentage of them. So yes, the answer is yes. They haven't done it while they're currently with us. They've gone on to college and now these hats are being sold. But yeah, I think companies are looking now at these kids that are successful at the junior level, seeing where they're going to go, and then buying in early, basically, and getting them set up on a deal. But I mean, we're happy for them. We're definitely here to facilitate that if people are interested, because we want our players to be successful.
Yeah. And the second question to that is like, what are your interactions with any of the guys on the team? Like, do you end up seeing them a lot? Are you around them? Because I don't know, because I never played that high of level juniors for long enough to be around the operations side. So it's just something I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm around probably more than anyone else in the front office, just because I am still pretty involved on our social media side. So sometimes I'll do photo and video and I'm around the team, or like the interview stuff. But yes, I'm around them a lot more than the rest of our front office. And that's a fun part of the job too, because we have a lot of great kids that come through this area, and it's when you get to know them more, I think you appreciate the team a little more too. Also, I go on all of the visits to like the community stuff, so I get to see them interact in that way as well, which I love. It's one of my favorite parts of the job.
That's another positive of social media too. I feel like I make the analogy of like a good movie, right? When you get to know kind of the players and the actors, you kind of become a little bit more endeared to the team and the project. That's the same thing with now being able to see that doing in the community, who they are as people, that they're funny, that they're actually have great families, that they have other brothers or sisters that are part of the community as well. So I think that that's just such a great positive of what the social media and what you guys are doing to build a story about the team, but also just the people that are involved on all levels. So that's awesome.
100%. Yeah. I always say the best guys come through Fargo.
Hey,
Some go to Des Moines, some of them go to Des Moines, but most of them go to Fargo.
No, I wouldn't say he's anywhere close to being close to the best. He's very far.
Hey, it was a time of my life. I say it all the time. I was so young. I didn't know anything about anything. I didn't know anything really about the league. And at that time, it was still really one of the most developing leagues. But to see what it's become now is amazing. Each team and each franchise, I mean, it's the closest thing to a lot of those guys. And we talked about your fans earlier, those fan experiences. A lot of those guys are going to be playing in the NHL. So some of those guys will be playing in the NHL next year. So it's pretty amazing to see the involvement of players so fast and the skill level of that league. And they're doing so much amazing growth on that level for the community, which I think is just amazing. So the next thing I want to ask you is, you were also a recipient of the 10 under 10.
You love these awards.
I know, it's back to back. I was like, you guys have to get me off of this. So
Katie's the one winning all the awards. We're just here to just roll them out.
Yeah.
So yeah. I wanted you, first of all, congratulations on that award as well. But I also wanted you to kind of maybe elaborate a little bit more on that award, because it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was through MSUM, which is the college I graduated with from, the 4-year. And it was 10 students that graduated less than 10 years ago that are doing something good, great in their field. So it was the first year they did it. It was a really cool honor to be selected for it. They had a little ceremony, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it's a special award, and it's the first year of it.
You're also being very modest, because the actual expression of the award is that people who are having career excellence in a short amount of time. So congratulations. That's amazing. Just piling up all these awards this year. It's like you're probably just sitting back in the summer. It's like,
oh. Yeah, I know. It's time to retire.
Yeah, it's like, retire.
You're kind of playing a lot of being in touch with a lot of the departments. What the coordination with like the coaching staff and the players and different things like that, what are other cool things that you're involved with, and kind of being involved with all the realms of the players and the staff?
Yeah, well, so recently, 3 years ago, I guess it was now, we did a huge renovation of the arena, which I got to be pretty involved in. And we did a rebrand as well. We dropped blue. We went full black, silver, and white. And that was part of, so Matt Cullen is one of our part owners. So he bought into the team, came in, wanted to invest more. So we rebranded the logo. The whole weight room got redone. He kind of redid it how you would do a hockey weight room. The whole locker room got redone. So there's been a lot these last couple of years of just revamping this arena, which is already a great facility to begin with. But it's been really cool for me to be involved in that, like a rebranding process in my first year, like design concepts for this whole downstairs area. So that's been really fun. And then this season and last season, we redid our jerseys too. So our whites and blacks are super sharp if you guys haven't seen them. And then we have a new gray and alternate coming in this year. That's going to be really cool. So stay tuned for that.
So, Katie, it's actually very funny. My father owns a pro stock hockey company. So he's been getting Fargo's gear, overstock gear, for the past however many years. So I've seen the transition of the Fargo Force word logo to the F to now what it is now. It's super, super cool. And I just think it's just kind of an awesome perspective for anyone younger listening to this podcast and being like, dang, like you could actually, we also had, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but we had Nick Bowens from Working in Hockey on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And he, like, it really showed, like, him, like, they really show that you can work in hockey and really pursue an esteemed business career at the same time. And it's awesome. And what would be, I know this is kind of putting you on the spot, but what would be advice for anyone coming out of college wanting to work in sports in general?
The best thing I can say, and this is a Cully phrase, so I'll coin it to him, But we've just started pushing this as our organization for our team, our staff, our players. And he said, the best do more. And that's so true. Like, if you want to be great at what you're doing, you have to do more than what everybody else is doing. Like, you're not going home and never thinking about the team. Like, I go home and I'm like, like that graphic looked like it was 4 centimeters off. Like, I should have done it. So like, people that are succeeding at a high level and that are going into this sports field and like growing at a rapid pace, they're doing more than everyone else. The players that are going to play in the NHL, like, they're doing more. And that's really the best advice I can give anyone, is if you want to be great, you have to do more than what's expected of you.
Katie, I want to run through a wall now. I'm fired up. I am absolutely fired up.
I just want to go back to the league. Yeah.
Yeah. Come join the Force.
Take me
Let's
back.
go live in his glory days and back in.
Take me back. With all your accomplishments, I mean, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but we're really big on, like we said, mentorship and being able to pass on knowledge to the next generation. And you being a successful woman in business, is that something that, from a mentorship level, you've been approached to kind of help and just be able to share your knowledge on that level?
Yeah, we have interns come in quite a bit that I get to work with. It's a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes. I'm like, I'm 26. Like, I don't know that I have great advice for you right now, but like, it's a cool opportunity to be viewed in that light, that when people reach out, like, I want to do whatever I can to help. And it's so fun to have interns come through here from all different ages. So yeah, I mean, it's an honor for people to view you that way. And I think whatever I can do to help them out is what I should do.
No, it's go on, Frank.
No, I was just going to say, what's the big picture? You're in an amazing spot. You're winning awards, titles. What's the landscape look like? What's your personal Katie goals for yourself and kind of how far do you want to take this?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a question I get quite a bit, like from my parents and from everybody else, is what are you going to do? It's a hard one to answer. Kind of back to what I said earlier, the role that I'm in is so unique to this level of hockey. Even if you went up to work in NCAA, like, it's more specialized. So like, leaving this position, I don't know that I would until I know exactly what type of role I would want in a bigger organization, because it could go so many different directions right now. And I really am lucky to be in a great spot. Like, our ownership here in Fargo is unbelievable. They care so much about the team. Everyone that works in this organization wants this team to succeed, which is, again, not unique. Like, there's not a lot of, and not every organization has that. So I don't want to take for granted where I'm at. I think it's a pretty legit spot. And you guys have both been to Fargo. You've seen this rink. So it's a hard one to beat, even at other levels. Like, for junior hockey, it's unbelievable. But we've been told, like, there's some NCAA schools that have this, compares to some of the best in that. And we have a great staff down in the coach's office. So yeah, I mean, moral of the story, I don't really have a goal yet. I guess I'm just riding it out until I figure out what I want to do next. But I love where I'm at right now. So sky's the limit.
Yes, it is. And that's amazing. And I think it's so cool. It's so cool to see your gratitude towards kind of everyone at the organization throughout just this whole podcast. It's super cool to be able to see that. And I mean, growing Fargo in the community aspect of it all. So how much does that really play into, like, a business revenue standpoint of fans coming in to through the doors? So, like, what is a big revenue driver for the Fargo Force?
Yeah, so Fargo Moorhead itself is kind of like a hockey hotbed. We just did the math a couple weeks ago. There's 17 indoor sheets of ice within a 10-mile radius of each other. 17. So we have an unreal amount of, like, youth hockey tournaments and youth hockey teams and organizations within this area. So when we're out in the community doing reading programs or open skates, that kind of thing, and then you get a team of 30, 12-year-olds into the building, like, that is a direct stream of revenue coming in because of what we're doing in the community. Or Fix It Forward is an auto care company that we work with. Like, that group of mechanics may never show up to a game unless our boys are in there, like, fixing up a car a week before and you see them. Like, so all of that, really, you can see it. It's a tangible growth in our revenue and our fans at the game, and it's because of what our players do in the community. But youth hockey here for us is unbelievable. It's a huge point of revenue for us.
No, I just wanted to ask that and put that in perspective because like some people may not realize it. I mean, obviously at the
Yeah,
NHL level, but junior level, like they're companies, they're businesses. Like they need revenue to
for
keep
sure.
going and all of that. And I guess it just goes over a lot of people's heads. So thank you for elaborating on that.
Yeah.
In Minnesota for the Let's Play Hockey event not too many months ago, Logan and I were there for the high school hockey festival, and it was
It's
just
insane.
insane. Talk about Cully just taking it all too. So they won it all. So that good year for him. But Glenn talked about it too. It's the recipe for also hockey development in Minnesota. It's funny because it's very simple, but it's very accurate. The development of players, the kind of proof is in the pudding. The players that come out of there and that are generated through the system that they have, it's successful. Then now having a successful junior team there as well. There's only 22 spots, but it's just building that aspirational level of just being able to play for an amazing team and Minnesota kids, I feel like, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, but Minnesota kids and Michigan kids, they love their own state hockey and they want to stay there as long as possible. It's just so amazing that these hockey hotbeds are being able to kind of produce these amazing programs, these amazing organizations, and stay successful year over year. They have these like down years and people are like, I'm getting out of Minnesota. You're like, no, everybody loves and aspires to play there and live there. Parents move their kids and across their country to live alone so that they can have a chance to live and play there. I'm going to ask you a question about this year's squad.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go this year's squad, and then I'm going to give you a totality of players that have come through in your tenure there. Who was an absolute beauty on this year's team?
Oh boy. Well, we haven't finalized a team yet, so.
She can't get in trouble. Cut it. Can't get in trouble. Cut it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have returners that are unreal. Like all of the guys coming back this year are great personalities. I think.
Yeah.
Who's a big one? Colin McRae. He has a good personality. He was in a lot of the Nasher stuff. You guys will probably see him if you follow us on social media this year. He's a gem.
I know one of my athletes for my tape company went through Fargo. He won the Clark with him. Brandon Svoboda.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. He's such a good kid.
Great kid.
And wins at everything.
Yes, the winners. Hey, you and him have a lot in common. Winners win.
Yeah.
What can they say?
Yeah, there we go.
What about through your whole time at Fargo? What are some memorable people through the journey? It doesn't have to be players alone, but I mean just people on every level that have just kind of made your journey amazing and, just made it a lot more memorable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year when we won it was a hard one to beat. Like that team and the coaches and the players that are on the championship year is, I mean, you remember it forever, right? Like there's no better place to win a Clark Cup than Dubuque, Iowa. We had a good time after we won it, but those are the people that you really never forget. When I started here, I came in at the same time as our current sales guy. His name is Kyle, and we've been both here the whole way through. So I think he's maybe one where like I can't imagine being here without the other person I started with. So he's been a good one. Like Carrie Eads, you guys know Carrie Eads? Yeah,
Carrie Eads.
Everybody knows Carrie. Like he's just a figure in our organization, and I can't imagine having gone through this without him being around. Like he's just a guy everybody knows. Yeah, he's a gem. And then John Krim, he's our president. He hired me when I was an intern and has been there the whole way through. So yeah, he's great to work with as well.
Yeah.
And obviously all the players, I love them all. I can't pick any favorites.
I know. No, you've been blessed to be part of that organization for a while. So you've just seen so much change, and that's amazing that the culmination of that is being able to win. A lot of times people are at organizations for a really long time, and it's just the way it is. Winning it's not a given. A lot of times sometimes you get spoiled like me. You win it your first year and you're just like, oh, this is amazing. And like there's guys that play years. And you same could be said about the Stanley Cup as well, right? Like a lot of guys play a lot of years, and some rookies win it in their first year. So
Yeah.
I think that's
and
just
we've been
amazing.
lucky enough since I started. My first year we made it to the finals. My second year we lost in the first round, and then my third year we won the Anderson Cup, made it to the finals. Fourth year won the Anderson Cup, won the Clark Cup, and then last year we made the playoffs again. So like this team in the last 5 years it's hard to complain. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, and then I win Executive of the Year, and I'm like, well, our players are pretty good. Like, we just have a good team. So it's a culmination of everyone that's involved in this organization to get to all these different awards.
No, it's so cool. And as we start to wind down on all of this, it's just so it's very humbling for me to be able to see that. I mean, I played juniors, obviously not to the extent that Frank did, but just kind of appreciating everything that kind of goes on behind the scenes. I deal with a lot of equipment managers all the time, and I have a lot of love and appreciation for what they do. They spend more time at the rink than the players do.
For sure.
Those guys, and just like I said earlier, everything coming together to make that wagon of a squad for the past 5 years, from all the way from ownership down to the players, and like I said, the people who clean the rink. It's awesome. And I'm very, very excited to see what Fargo does. I'm very excited to see what you do. It's going to be a pleasure to watch, seriously.
Hopefully we have a good season. If you guys need some tickets, give me
Hey,
a
I wanted to another shameless plug for this. I'm hopefully we can work with Fargo this next year. We're in talks with Eddie of hopefully getting some tape in the locker room.
love it.
Yeah.
We'll take care of you.
And if not, Logan will just send it right to your office. So.
yeah.
Front doorstep coming right to you.
Give me a big sign for the wall back here.
Yeah. No, I mean, like Logan said, thank you so much for taking the time. I think the biggest thing is just your journey, right? That's what we're all about on this podcast. Is really, it doesn't matter. We interview a lot of players. We interview a lot of personnel. We interview a lot of people in different realms of the game. But again, like we started off, like hockey is such an amazing sport. There's such amazing people in the community. We're completely biased, but that's fine. We've accepted it. We say it all the time. But
I am too. I agree.
It's a different breed of people that hockey players are and hockey people are. And again, with your journey, especially just being able to, just start the lesson is just being able to pass on that knowledge to the next generation, is starting in a position with an organization and just working your hard work, your dedication. It's really paid off. And that's the reason why you're winning all these awards that we got to just keep talking about. So it's so amazing, Katie. Seriously, we're so honored to be part of this time of your life when it just happened, and we can't thank
investing in the stock early.
Yeah, I'm honored to be on here. I was telling John, my boss, earlier, I was like, I feel like I'm getting ready for like a test that I'm supposed to know the answers to, but I'm nervous. So I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, we try to make it as laid back as possible, just like a conversation. And it was an absolutely great podcast, super informative. And I got to make fun of Frank a few times, so that's always fun.
Before we get off, I got to ask you one question. Out of all the amazing things that are happening in the league, with Fargo, everything, what's one change, if you were like at the head helm, that you'd love to see in the league as a whole?
I think it's something that the league is already addressing, and it's expansion. I think this league is super successful with 16 teams, and I think as it continues to grow, it's going to be even more successful. So it's already wheels in motion, and I know Glenn has talked about it in a few different places, and I think he's the guy to be in charge of it. He's going to make the right decisions and get us in the right direction. So yeah, I think this league will keep getting bigger, and the talent in this league will continue to grow. So we're on the right track.
Amazing answer.
Katie, we want to do more with the league. We want to do more with you guys. So when we give you a holler later on, but also we want to bring you on at some point too, just like a quick little catch-up segment. Like we told Glenn the same thing. It's just, we're always love to hear the league is changing every day, every week. And it's always nice to get some fresh perspectives on what you guys are thinking and seeing on your level too. So
maybe call in from like a Clark Cup championship win.
And we'll take that. We'd love to
Yeah.
we'll take that any day. And we'd love
Perfect.
to interview any guys. Like seriously, like
Yeah, absolutely.
we would love to get that set up. I know we're trying to do some more stuff, like what Frank said with the USHL, trying to maybe go to the Fall Classic and do something there. So we're excited.
We'll see you guys there then.
All right, don't jinx
Thanks a
us.
lot, Katie. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Katie. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much for Katie Merrick joining the show. Again, Logan, we were so pumped to have her, especially fresh off this new award she got. We felt really happy to have her on and for her to take the time. So I really feel like we're super blessed, again, to have somebody that just has an amazing journey and being able to really be able to mentor the younger generation that's coming up on just the right steps to make and the right things to do for your career, but also have fun doing it.
You're 100% right. She had so many good points, talks about so many good things, and she's so humble too. You can just tell that she's just an awesome person beyond all of her amazing business accolades thus far and working in hockey. And I think that's a great point to be able to take away from kind of the whole podcast is that you can have a very successful business career and still be working in the game that you love. Or now, for Katie's example, like the game that she fell in love with at a later age. So it's so cool to be able to hear her perspective and all that, and kind of see all the inner workings of what everything that happens. You can go there on a game night and you see all the enjoyment, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And they are really good over there at Fargo. And it's I hope you enjoyed the episode. It was a pleasure to do it.
Shout out to the USHL, best league in the world. I'll say it all the time. But again, she's such an amazing force for the Fargo Force and going to continuously achieve amazing things. And we're so proud to have her on. But Logan, none of it would be allowed
Possible.
without our amazing sponsors. Cut Shield Hockey, Best Damn Tape, Buddy Hockey Club, Bambino Shave Cream. This is another episode done, and I can't tell you how happy I am. This was a good one, man, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Logan, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's always a pleasure. That is a ribbon, as we like to say on episode 11 of the Locker Room Life podcast. Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.